cut my off. She's still outside.
Oh, mashallah.
I left it right by the shoes.
Wow.
I was like, I don't want to bring it in, but in case I need it, it's there.
Alrighty, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walahu wa ba'd. We start our lessons this week in Arabic 100. First and foremost, discussing a little bit of revision regarding a concept we learned before. And the revision is crucial because when we look throughout the Arabic language and throughout the Quran, very commonly is it that the point that people find that is their Achilles heel is what we learned about, which is murakkabat. Okay, you guys remember what that word murakkabat means?
Composition phrase.
Good. So when I say murakkabat, what is that the opposite of?
The single word.
What's the plural of jumla?
Very good. So we have murakkabat. We have jumal. Jumal is the plural of sentence. How do we say one sentence in Arabic? Jumla, right?
Yeah.
So jumal are sentences. The opposite of a jumla, when I write X, I mean the opposite, is a murakkab. A murakkab is effectively a non-complete sentence, something that forms part of a sentence. And it is a phrase that's composed of more than one word. Because in Arabic, one word is referred to as mufrad. Mufrad just means singular. So a murakkab is a bunch of mufrad words, but together they don't form a complete sentence. So as of now, we've learned about a couple of murakkabat, and we've studied them and we've practiced them, and we will continue to practice them until it is that we can enmesh all of them together without any issues. But let's just first and foremost try to recall what are the different forms of incomplete sentences we've learned. Tell me one of them. Go ahead, Idafi. And we're also going to just for a moment recall that
It's composed of a Mawsoof and a Mawsoof alayh.
Very good. So before we move on, anytime we use a technical term, we kind of want to simplify that and dumb that down for our brains. Because sometimes, like you just said, it's composed of a Mawsoof and a Mawsoof ilayh. So you get the terminology wrong, but the concept is probably right in your mind. So let's just explain. When we say we have a murakkab, what did I mean by murakkab again? What does that mean?
It's a complete sentence.
It's not a sentence, right? It's not a description.
So that's the type of
It's a few words that don't form a complete sentence, but connected to one another, they form part of a sentence. Before we even try and split them up, let's look at a few examples in the English language, and then we'll learn about how it is we can turn those into Arabic. Example. One is, I can say, the king's crown. When I say that in English, does that form a sentence?
No.
It doesn't. Similarly, in Arabic, this phrase doesn't form a complete sentence, but it's a specific type of phrase. And the type of phrase that this is what type of phrase? It's exactly what this is. Al-Murakkab al-Idafi. What does Al-Murakkab al-Idafi mean?
Possessive and possessor.
Right, so it means the sentence of possession. So we call it a possessive phrase or possessive statement. In other words, this type of phrase shows us what? Shows us that one thing belongs to another thing, like the king's crown, or the masjid's door, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy, or the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's companions. All of these are examples of possessive phrases that exist in Arabic. And what are they called in Arabic? Everyone? Al-Murakkab al-Idafi. So we've learned about this type of phrase. We also learned about two other phrases. Does anyone remember what those are? Good. We learned about al-Ishari, al-Murakkab al-Ishari.
I think Ali knows the next one.
Tell us, Adi, what's the third one?
This one.
Oh, المركب
Good, we learn about at-tawsifi. So before we move on, let's first and foremost familiarize ourselves with the other two phrases. Al-murakkab al-ishari. Shamrez, what can you tell me about murakkab al-ishari?
Murakkab al-ishari is a pointing phrase.
It's a phrase that shows a person indicating towards something else. Right? When you indicate towards something in the Arabic language, how is it that you make a phrase of indication? What do you need?
You need a pointing word.
A pointing word, very good. In Arabic, we call that, if anyone recalls, it was called al-mushab. Al-mushab. Okay, so what was the pointing word? What were the pointing words we learned about so far?
For example, هذا.
هذا.
So ذلك if it is far.
ذلك for something far, and هذا for something close. So for example, if I wanted to say this pen, how would I say that in Arabic?
هذا القلم.
هذا القلم. Very good. What if I just said هذا قلم?
That would not be
This
a
is a
murakkab.
That's a sentence.
So it's not a what?
It's not a
It's not a murakkab. If I said هذا قلم, I'm telling you this is a pen. Is that a sentence or a phrase? That's a sentence. So we're not talking about sentences. We're talking about phrases. So if I said هذا القلم, what does that mean?
This pen.
This pen. This pen. We're not going to say this the pen. We're going to say this pen. So al-murakkab al-ishari in short is a phrase that shows someone pointing or indicating at something. Now, we learned a couple of words that are used for pointing phrase. We learned hada. What else did we learn? Let's go over all of those real quick as a review. We learned about hada. Safi, you gotta go slow, man. Not everyone's hopping. What was after hada? Hadani. What is hadani?
This
Plural.
two.
This too?
These two.
These two? Okay. Okay. What else did we learn about?
هؤلاء.
Ha'ula'i. What does ha'ula mean?
They all plural.
These all?
Yeah, these when we're pointing at more than two people. So ha'ula'i muslimun. What does that mean?
These
They're
Muslims.
These Muslims. These all.
هؤلاء
These are
مسلمون.
Muslims. I didn't make a phrase there.
Yeah.
What if I said ha'ula'il muslimuna?
These Muslims.
These Muslims. Good. So that's a pointing phrase.
So how that is group?
Yeah, it's for more than three or more.
Okay.
Very good. Now we learned about some female versions of these. What were the female versions we learned of? No, of hada.
هذه.
Hadihi. And hadihi is when you're pointing at
One female.
one female person,
Item, person.
or it could be an object too. So for example, I could say, هذه مدرسة. This is
This is a school.
a school. Good. What's the dual version of هذه that we learned? Very good. Madik. So it's هاتani.
Wow.
And we learned the plural version, which was what?
هؤلاء.
هؤلاء, just like before. We also learned about some pointing phrases that are used to indicate things in the distance. What are those? Go ahead, say it. Dhalika, good. Dhalika was number one. For one male or male object. What was the dual of dhalika?
ذلك.
What?
ذلك.
Dhalika again?
No, Nika, right?
Yeah, dhalika. Very rare that you'll ever hear this in modern Arabic. Probably no Arab knows about the word dhalika. You've probably never heard of that, right? So you would say dhalika masjidani. Those are two masjids in the distance. Very rare you'd have it, like a scenario where you point at two things in the distance. But you could say dhalika rajulani. Those are two men. And we learned about the plural of dhalika, which was what? Ulaika. Ulaika, is that common in the Quran?
Yes.
Yes, it is. So ulaika is very common in the Quran. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very often points out people, because He points out good people and bad people. Those people, those good people, those bad people, and so on and so forth. Ali, what was the female version of dhalika? Also very commonly used in the Arabic language. It's tilka. Good, mashallah. And Amir, what was the dual version of tilka, if you recall? It's like dhanika, except it's that. متحركة. Okay? So these are the phrases or the asma'ul ishara, the pointing words that are used whenever it is that we make al-murakkab al-ishari, the pointing phrase. And as revision, we also learned about al-murakkab al-tawsifi. Does anyone remember what al-murakkab al-tawsifi is? Tawsif. It's a descriptive phrase. What is a descriptive phrase? Is it like saying Malik is tall? That describes.
Yeah, the man is tall.
The man is tall. Is that a descriptive phrase?
No, it's a
Oh,
sentence.
No, that's
tall
not.
man.
The tall man or a tall man. We don't want to make a sentence. We just want to make an incomplete sentence like a tall man or a beautiful tree and so on and so forth. Al-murakkab al-tawsifi in the Arabic language requires how many parts? Two. Very good. What are those two parts? Very good. The Mawsoof and the Sifah. Can someone tell me, explain like I'm 5 years old, give me the spark notes of how we make a descriptive phrase in the Arabic language. Let's see. Come on, Madik, you got it. Give me whatever you've retained in your mind.
Alright. So starting from Mawsoof.
Yeah, what is a Mawsoof?
Mawsoof is, I don't know if I can explain it.
You're not ready yet. How do you tell me?
It's the describe. So it's
Very good. It's the described thing or person. And why have I said Mawsoof first?
because they always go
Because in Arabic, the Mawsoof comes first. Whatever you're describing comes first. But in English, it's the opposite. Right? In English, we say a tall man. In Arabic, we say
the man tall.
a man tall, the man tall. Very good. So the Mawsoof is the described. What is the Sifah? The description. What should I know about them if I'm concerned about speaking Arabic or understanding Arabic?
And everything.
What should I know?
Gender.
Wait, what do you mean everything?
They're supposed to
This is
match.
what you should know.
What should I know?
About Mawsoof.
Yeah, about the whole thing.
I'll tell you.
Well,
It
it
has to
copies.
match.
What has to
The
match?
Sifa,
The four forms. The
Sifa
Mawsoof.
copies them also.
The Sifah, or in other words, the
Adjective.
adjective, the description, the describing word like tall copies the Mawsoof, whatever is being described in four things. What four things are they?
Gender.
The gender. What else, Maddie?
Number.
The number. What else?
Is definite or indefinite?
Definite or indefinite. And we'll talk about that again, just to review. And lastly,
the status, like what? State.
it's state. Okay, so this was where things got a little bit confusing. So let's simplify them real quick. And the best way to simplify something is always through an example. Okay? So let's think of an example from the Quran. Ooh.
I have one.
You have one, tell me.
Malaikatun ghiladun shidadun.
Oh, that's a hard example. It's correct. But it's a hard example.
Okay, sorry. Never
No, it's correct. It's correct. Let's think of something that, see, like, the reason it's hard is because malaikatun sounds female and ghiladun doesn't sound female to someone who's a beginner.
You could just do the ghiladun shidadun.
No, because those are two sifas.
Yeah, there's not.
Those are two sifas. So we can't do that.
What is one?
There's some very simple Mawsoof and sifas in Juz. Huh?
It has any khonsmani one?
Nope, that's a jumla
But
ismiya.
he has
Yes. You're looking at the book, for sure. Tell me.
Sirat al-Mustaqim.
Good, very good. In Surah Al-Fatiha, always. Listen, if you're looking for Quranic examples, you don't have to go so hard. Safi. And oftentimes, those are the ones that are really hard to remember. Go to Surah Al-Fatiha, you'll always find an example in the Quran. So, As-Sirat al-Mustaqima. Mustaqimi. Mustaqimu.
ضمتين
والصراط.
مستقيمة. ضمة عكس
The
المستقيم.
Fatha.
Whichever one you did, yeah.
So, in the Quran, in Surah Al-Fatiha, we have Ihdinas Sirat al-Mustaqima. Okay, first off, As-Sirat al-Mustaqima. As-Sirata, what does that mean?
Ah,
The path.
The path. And what does al-mustaqima mean?
The straight.
The straight. Sorry.
No, I like that. That was nice.
The straight. So we have the straight and we have the path. The path, the straight. In English, what would the order of this translation be? The straight, and then we would have path. And we wouldn't say the path in English. Because in English, we don't have to restate the fact that every word after is definite, just like in Arabic. In Arabic, if you have the here, the describing word also has to have the. So when we translate this, we're not going to say, guide us to the straight the path. We're just going to say, guide us to the straight path. Because English doesn't have multiple dots. But Arabic
is N.
Yes,
Oh.
that's right. But Arabic does. In Arabic, if I didn't have this al, what would this sentence be? No, read it. Read it first. As-sirata or mustaqimun or whatever. As-siratu mustaqimun. What would that mean? Anyone know? As-siratu mustaqimun.
The path is straight.
The path is straight. So that's no longer a murakkab. It's a sentence. This is not a sentence. If I said as-sirat mustaqim, the path is straight. But that's not what the Quran says. The Quran says the straight path. So in order for this to mean the straight path, we have to identify that 4 things are happening. The 4 things that are happening are, number 1, identify the mawsoof. What's the mawsoof? What's the thing being described here? The path's being described. So we call that our mawsoof. What's the describing word itself? Al-mustaqim. So this is our Sifah. Very good. The rule is that the Sifah must copy the mawsoof in 4 things. The first thing it copies it in is its gender. What's the gender of the word sirat? How do you know that? Because it doesn't have a ta at the end. So it's a masculine word. Whereas female words usually have what at the end? Like what?
Masjid. Oh, what are
Masjid. Like what? A female name. Khadija, Amina, Hafsatu. They all have ta at the end. Aisha. They have ta at the end. This word is masculine, and we can presume that because it has no ta at the end. Therefore, the Sifah must also be masculine. Is the Sifah here masculine?
Yes.
Yes, the Sifah here is masculine. It also doesn't have a ta added to the end. So we fulfilled one of the 4 conditions of a Mawsoof and Sifah. What was the second condition? Number. What does number mean? That means that if this word is singular, then this word must also be singular. And if this word is dual, this also must be dual. And if this word is plural, this word must also be plural. These both are singular words. What other conditions did we have? What does definite and indefinite mean?
Al makes it definite.
Al makes this definite. What does definite mean?
It's like the, like it's referring to a specific.
It's defined.
Yes, it's defined. It's not a random path. It is a specific path. How did we make this a specific path? We called it the path. We didn't say a random path. We said the path, so it's defined. So if this is defined, this must also be defined. And is it defined?
Yes.
It is. How do you know? The al that you see at the beginning. Very good. And the 4th condition was what?
State.
The state. What is state, Mazik? The ending haraka tells you the state of a word. So the ending state of this word, it has a fatha, which means it's in which state? Nasab. The ending haraka here is also what? Fatha. Therefore, it is in the nasab state. So these 4 conditions fulfilled inform us that this is a phrase that is a descriptive phrase. Before we move on, I want to do some examples with you guys, some practice, because Mawsoof and Sifah can get hard. Over time, there can be a lot of added elements of mudaf and mudaf ilayh and Mawsoof and Sifah, and you haven't even learned about other types of phrases. We haven't done all of the phrases of Arabic, so we want to master this phrase. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up real quick to page 58 in our book. Okay? Al-Kitab.
I did the 6 open already. That's where I got the example from. Are you sure 58?
58.
In the PDF or in the...
On the actual book. Oh, so your book has some slightly different examples. Okay, we're on lesson number... we're looking at lesson number 8. So just go to exercise 1 on lesson 8.
That's what you knew, right?
So did you guys find it?
Yeah. Yeah, we found it.
Very nice. I found it. That's what we're trying to figure out. And exercise 2 is where it gets real tough. I want to actually knock some out of exercise 2 and see how far we can actually make it. So looking at exercise number 1, what do you all notice off the bat just looking at these problems?
They're not sentences.
They're not sentences. And how many words are they composed of?
2.
2. Usually just 2. Alright? That means we simply have a Mawsoof and Sifah. Not hard in the beginning, but the vocabulary building is also key. So let's see how fast we can complete numbers 1 to 10.
Oh, we're right.
$9.
Yes. The 10 lessons of the Arabic. 10 lessons of
There's a
Arabic.
PDF. The PDF's good because you can search
PDF
up
is
the
free
words
too.
like this. I was like having
What on lesson?
Page 58 on that.
By his father.
Exercise 1.
MashaAllah, I see you, but you got the spelling wrong on pious.
Okay, it is punch, right? I mean,
It's an adif, it's an
There
adif.
is an other. Oh, it's called. I'm like,
Yeah, the lesson
couldn't decide.
For the second one, we put Saeed first because that's the most Mawsoof.
Ah.
Is it past?
Very good question, Amir.
I got mine for free.
That's what we would say. Because the English is the sun.
Saeed.
Saeed. So what's the
Saeed the sun.
Saeed the sun.
Oh, interesting. That's a good question.
Saeed. Think. Saeed. Try your best. Saeed. Yeah, of course. I just spell it. That's okay.
No, we jump around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's really easy to tell which one's a long vowel or not. You'll raise it.
MashaAllah. Alright, everyone got number 1 right. That's good. You're gonna have to look in the word lists. You might have to search if you got your computer or phone, but it lets you search if you're on your phone. What did you say? No. Think about it. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
It's al-waladu Sa'id. Al-waladu. It's not al. The description. Oh, sorry.
Actually, it's the other way around here.
Is it?
Yeah,
No,
it's not. And the reason for that, let me explain it real quick. All right.
Yeah.
Let's explain. Just look. Okay. In English, when you have a descriptive phrase, you can say a tall building, right? In Old English, you could also say this. You could also say a building tall in its I don't know, construction.
You need a comma though.
Okay, you need a comma. And in this case, that's what we have. Because it says the son Sa'id, right? And then comma.
Sorry.
That's what your book says, correct?
Yeah,
I won't forget to add the comma.
It's okay. It's okay. So this order is going to be the same order as
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's
that makes
Arabic.
sense. Okay,
Yeah.
that's, I thought so too, to be honest.
Yeah.
So the son. Yeah, so it would be al-walad.
Sa'ida. It would be al-waladu Sa'ida.
Wait, I thought the son was Ibn. Is that Ibn?
It is, but we're saying al.
So,
Could you say like al?
Oh, you're saying ibn versus al-walad? Both are correct.
so what is not boy?
Walad can mean son too.
So is that like a rule? If you say al, they're always followed by al.
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So al
Unless
ibn and
unless
Sa'id.
unless there's a name. Like
Okay.
Sa'id doesn't need al. Names don't need al to be defined. Like you don't have to say al Uthman, just be talking about a specific person,
Yeah.
right? You can just say Uthman.
Okay. So that's like a rule I can count on all the time.
You
Al-
can't count on any of my rules.
Oh really? Oh
You
okay.
can't count on any of my
Whenever he says always, he's
Oh,
always
okay.
lying. Yeah.
I'm always lying. Okay, but 95% of the time, if your Mawsoof, the word that's being described,
Yeah.
has an al, then the word after will also have an al.
And there's exceptions.
Yeah, there's a few. There's a few exceptions.
Allah is the God of God. So when you say Lord would be
Rob,
you just let like you just
Rob is Lord. Yeah.
Is Rab always defined in the Arabic language?
No, no.
Is Rob always what?
Defined? Yeah.
I can't hear you, sorry.
Wait, no, no.
In the Quran?
Just in like Arabic. Because I know we believe in monotheism, but the guys
So
who
wouldn't then
like
don't believe
the,
So the word Rob in Arabic is not just for Allah,
it's not.
by the way. You can say, Ana Rabbul Bayt.
Okay.
I'm the owner of the house.
Yeah.
You can say that. Ana Rabbul Mal. I'm the one who owns the money. You can say that in Arabic. So Rabb is not specific to Allah.
Wait, you're saying like how do you say multiple gods?
Wait, if we
Yeah, he's saying
saying
the
that
other
is
people
possible
use
in Arabic.
the other people use the word Rabb for their gods. They do.
Oh okay.
They do.
if we
What is God? What is plural for God?
Arbab.
Not bad.
It's in the Quran as well.
Oh.
That's kufr.
Arbab min dunillah is in the Quran. Gods other than Allah.
Oh okay.
You had a question?
if we add the mean, doesn't make it
Random?
like random, like definite, though? Like
It's not definite.
you wouldn't put other than in front
No,
of
you're not putting alif lam there. Because it says, what's the problem?
Most forgiving Lord.
Yeah, you just said Rabbun Rahim.
Rabbun.
Yeah.
Well, you could say Rabbun.
Yeah, Tajweed. You would
That's
say
most
Rabb-
merciful.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, forgiving, yeah, it's not Rahim. Sorry. Yeah, Rabbun Ghafur. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Would you put Alif Lam in front of Rabb
Sure,
to make it
Rabb
different?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah, but normally what people do instead of doing that to make it definite, they just say Rabbi
Yeah.
or Rabbuna. He's our Lord. Because remember, Mudaf is always
Definitely.
definite. So you don't have to put al.
Yeah.
There could be other means of
Yeah,
making
I
it
guess it's
definite.
more common in the Quran.
Yeah.
Rabbul Bayt, Rabb Hadin al-Bayt.
Yeah, Rabb هذه البيت. Yeah, so you can say that. You can say Rabb. هو ربنا
Okay.
وربي وربكم. In the Quran, it's always mudaf.
You said
Okay. I see. Because I was thinking. I didn't see
Mudaf
it.
has to be always definite?
Yes.
Mawsoof doesn't have to always be definite.
Okay, let's look at any questions so far. Big door. That should be easy. The noisy rooster.
Okay. I know the Jaja is chicken, not rooster.
No, you're gonna have to look it up.
Yeah. What is
The jaja is female
Yeah,
chicken.
for chicken.
D.
Yeah, it's D. It's deacon, yeah.
There you go.
How do we say noisy?
I don't know.
Adi is like loud, right?
Yeah.
So we're trying to think of shouting. How do you say shouting?
Sa'ihan.
Sa'ihan. Sa'ih. By the way, we're learning random sentences that seem to have nothing to do with the Quran.
Yeah.
Like a noisy rooster. What's the word for noisy here? Sa'ihun. Sa'ihun is in the Quran in many other forms. ما ينظرون إلا صيحة. Sayha is a shout. And sa'ih is shouting. Right? So sayha is the shout or the clap that's loud that happens at the onset of the day of judgment. So these words, the idea is it doesn't look like they're Quranic words, but in reality they all have a relationship to the Quranic terminology.
Why is the sentence? Why do you say that the rooster here is indefinite? We don't put the rooster.
It just says rooster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not gonna put
It says the noisy rooster.
it does, yeah, so you won't put the.
This would be adiku. Would be adiku.
Yes, because we're saying it's not a specific rooster, right? It's the noisy one.
It's a specific rooster that you know is
Why are
noisy.
we talking about roosters?
It's a problem.
So it would be adiku.
Oh.
If it was a noisy rooster, or just noisy
Yeah, I told you we
rooster.
have different exercises than ours.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't have rooster?
Why are you talking about roosters?
You do it? Oh, yeah, you're the same way. Okay.
They have slightly different problems. That's okay.
The lessons are also different. What we're looking at. In different order.
So I'm on that. Let's skip that.
There's the rooster. That's number 5.
They've just switched the problems. You know, college textbooks do that.
Yeah, small station. So they can still do
number
answers
15 is
using
small
the
station.
Yeah.
Big engine, long train, great mountain, deep sea, small boat.
It's like
Just if they took out the rooster, pretty good.
yeah, so that's the same. Oh, yeah, that's the only one.
But ask you a question.
There's more.
Sure.
When you might have covered
No,
this
you're right.
in
We're just missing the
past
rooster.
classes, but if there's like هذا القلم, it can't be هذه القلم.
No.
So how do you know like what's
It should be هذا or هذه.
so qalam is male?
Qalam is male.
We just
Yeah.
have to. It's like
You just something intuitively you understand. And there's some principles that you can learn to do, figure out whether a word is male or female. One of them is that if there's a ta at the end of the word, around that, ta marbuta,
Oh, okay.
it'll be female. Another is if there is an alif followed by a hamza at the end of the word, it'll be female.
Oh, okay.
And if there's a alif saghira followed by a ya at the end of the word, like mustashfa,
Oh, okay. And
then
so
it's female.
هذه المستشفى.
Yes. So those are the logical rules you can apply.
Yeah.
And then in addition to that, there's some vocabulary words that are female, but you just have to know they're female.
But is it like by the sound? Like
No.
Oh, it's
Like
not.
logically, there's no way to figure that out.
Oh, okay.
Like for example, al-ard
Fatty
is female.
I feel like there's a different word.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
هذه الأرض. Or you can say al-tariq is female, even though it doesn't look like it has a tab
Oh,
yet.
so you can't say هذا الطريق.
Yeah. So actually, tariq in Arabic is weird because it's both. It can be used as both. But that's an example of one that you can't tell it's female, but it may be used as a female word.
Okay. So there is a right and a wrong answer.
Yeah, there are. There are. Yeah.
Like it's not. Yeah. I don't want to run it up. I mean, for math, they have Hausa.
All right. How many of us have finished the first 5? Most of us? Amir, you finished 5?
Uh-huh.
Let's go over those first 5 real quick. All right, our first one is a pious father. How do we say that? Good. It wouldn't be salih and abun. Why not?
Because the Mawsoof is first.
The Mawsoof comes first. Abun salihun is correct. Very good. Do they follow in the 4 rules?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
They do. Very good. What's our second question?
The sun side.
The sun side. And we said it would be said? As
Wait, I don't know if it's right, but Al-Waladun Sa'id.
Al-waladun would be wrong, not
No, do.
Okay, correct.
Why? Because it has an al.
Yeah, if you have an al, you can have a tanween at the end. So al-waladu or al-ibnu sa'idun are both correct.
Wait, I got a question. The second part.
What's your question?
No, I got it.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why does it have to mean, but it's a definite name?
All right. Sa'id doesn't need alif lam because it's a name already. Shamrez, what's our number 3?
Number 3 is most forgiving Lord.
All right, how do I say that?
Rabbun Ghafurun.
Good. The word for Lord is Rabb. The word for forgiving is Ghafurun.
Ghaffarun.
Ghaffarun. Ghaffarun doesn't mean most,
Yeah.
but that's Allah's name,
Yeah.
right? Azizul Ghaffar. In the Quran we have Ghaffar, but it doesn't mean the most forgiving. Inshallah we'll learn that. Inshallah. So that's 3. What's our 4th one? Madik?
Big door.
Big door. Safi, what'd you get for big door?
Babun Kabir.
That's the easy one. Bab Kabir. Bab Hu. Can I say Bab Hu?
Oh, wait.
I can't say
I'm
Bab.
going to say the Mawsoof first, what's being described as the door. The door.
Yeah, I can't say Kabirun Babun. And number 5, Madik, what do you got?
The old mat. Oh, he's on a different door.
That's fine. That's why I asked him.
Oh, okay.
How do we say it? The old man.
I got Al-Hasirul Fari.
I think you think that's a fa. You just forgot to write 2 dots. It's qadim.
Qadim, that was the word I was looking for. Now,
Oh,
they gave us Faridun in the book.
Faridun?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they put in the book.
That's correct. That's also correct. That's it's used in one place in the whole Quran.
Faridun.
So Qadimun is another way to write.
Help me, Safi.
That's how we say it usually.
Yes.
So
Qadim is also old.
Okay.
All right. What was your number 5, Safi or Shamrez? Safi.
Noisy rooster.
The noisy rooster. And what did we get that for that? Adiku.
Where? Oh, I guess.
Adiku. Asalihu. Correct. All these are good. We're gonna skip for a sec. I'm gonna go to a harder example because this is way too easy for you.
Yes.
Does Qadim have a plural or no?
Yeah. Qudama.
Okay.
Qudama.
Like old men?
Yeah. No, you don't use qadim for people. Qadim means like ancient, like ragged. You don't say that for people. Say ajuz, someone old, you know? Right. I made that mistake before. I called my teacher, Ya Sheikh Qadim. Sheikh al-Qadim. He looked at me like I was insulting him. Qadim means like is wearing down. Yeah. We don't say that for humans. We respect them. See, in Arabic, there's a huge element of respect in language. So people are mindful of even the way that they speak about a person's qualities. They won't call someone blind. They'll say someone who has insight. Someone whose heart can see things. They won't say, someone's a mistake. Like, you don't say, I missed Salah in Arabic. You say, Salah missed me. You say, Fatatni Salah. You don't say, Fawattu Salah. You don't say, I missed prayer. They say, Salah missed me. Because you don't want to admit to sins in public. That's a bad habit, to talk about your sins. So you say, Salah missed me, didn't catch me. Even if you were sinful. So there's a stylistic element to Arabic that we'll learn about, inshallah. So sometimes looking at an English word list is not going to give you the right answer, but I'll let it fly because we're concerned about the grammar, we're not concerned about the style right now. Let's look at number 1 on exercise 2. On exercise 2, number 1 is what do you guys have on your book?
I hit an immoral man.
I hit an immoral man. Okay. We got to figure out how do we say I hit. That was from a previous lesson.
Oh, you put a pronoun, right?
Alright, so darabtu is the way we say I. Remember, when we go through our 14, Safi, this is where it's your time to shine.
Pronouns, right?
Yeah, how do we go through all 14?
ضرب ضرب ضربوا ضربت ضربتا ضربنا ضربت ضربنا ضربت ضربتنا ضربتوا ضربنا.
Good. Why are you pointing at me?
Sorry.
Good. These are 14 verbs in Arabic. So we're looking for darabtu, the word for I hit. Now we have to say an immoral man. What's the word for immorality or immoral in Arabic? Mufsid? Mufsid is in the Quran. It means someone who... Fajr. Fajr is immoral.
I've heard that before. I don't know where in the Quran.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Is that in the Quran?
Very common. No, that's not the word you want to use. So fajr is the word we're looking for, which is common in the Quran as well. Fisq and fujur. Fujur is immorality. Also in the Quran as well. Mujrim is criminal.
Yeah. Are they same root?
No. That's from jurm. This is from fujur. Very different. Yeah. Alright, so immoral man. How do I say immoral man? Am I going to say immoral first? Or will I say man first? Man. So how do we say immoral man? Raju? So what would our sentence be? Don't forget, Amir. In our old lesson number 4, we learned about the fact that there is something called a maf'ul bihi. You remember that? Yeah? The maf'ul? Does that ring a bell somewhere in your head?
Yeah, but I don't know where it was.
Oh, subhanAllah. They say al-ilmu saydun.
I think it's because you mentioned it last lesson.
No. We've done a whole 2 classes on that. They say al-ilmu saydun. Imam Shafi'i says, your knowledge is prey, like an animal.
I got a hunter.
It's running away. You gotta catch it. The only way to catch it, وَالْكِتَابَةُ كَيْدُهُ. Writing notes is it's shackled. That's the only way you'll remember it. But it's okay to forget. Darabtu means I hit, but I can't say rajulun because remember, rajulun is in which state? I mean?
Oh, it's in the Rafa state.
Which means this guy's doing the hitting.
He's not.
He's not. So how do we change that?
Rajulan.
Very good. And then, if this has a fatha at the end, that means the word that's describing it, which is fajr, must also end in fatha. So it'd be darabtu rajulan fajiran. If it was rajulun fajirun, that would mean the immoral guy is doing the hitting. But he's not doing the hitting. He's getting hit. How do I show that the action's happening to him? I have to give him fathas that is ending. I have to bring him into what we call what state? No. The nasab state. The nasab state means a word that ends in fatha for now. When a word ends in fatha, that means the action's happening to it. So for example, I can say alqaitu. Anyone know what alqaitu means?
Seems like throw.
I threw. You could have guessed I. Alqaitu.
Alqaitu, yeah.
Alqaitu al-kura ta. I wouldn't say al-kura tu. What is al-kura?
The ball.
So alqaitu al-kura ta. I threw the ball. I can't say alqaitu al-kura tu. But if you were speaking in an Arab country, you would just say alqaitu al-kura. You don't say the last harakat. You don't say it because nobody wants to say it. They're not sure. So we have to be sure. The Quranic understanding is based on the harakat that we're learning as well. Let's look at number 2. You took a beautiful fan. We got to first off figure out how to say you took.
أخذت.
That means I took.
أخذتنا.
أخذتنا.
No. I'm sorry.
You took. And who are we talking to here?
Plural male. أخذتم.
Very good. أخذتم. When you're talking to three or more males.
Oh.
أخذتم is the word for you took when speaking to three or more males.
So the harakat are changing
The meaning.
the plurality of it all?
Yeah.
There's a chart for it right here.
Alright. أخذتم. You took.
Okay.
Now, Safi, we got to figure out how to say a beautiful fan. You know how to say beautiful. How do we say beautiful fan?
Fan is middle one. Yeah.
Mirwaha. Amir, do you say that in your modern language? You do, right? That would be wrong. Safi, think about it.
Oh, sorry.
Very good. All right, so let's figure out how we say this.
So you took is supposed to be in the Rafa state?
No, not you took.
Huh?
Look, this is a verb. Remember, verbs don't change their states. Like in Arabic, there's no you here. There's just one word that says you took, right? Akhadtum means you took.
I thought we learned about different states and verbs.
Not past tense verbs.
Oh, okay, never mind.
This is past tense. Okay. Akhadtum means you took.
Oh, I see.
And who am I talking to when I say this?
Plural males. More than
Three
three.
plus
Yeah.
men.
More than two.
How would I say this to two men?
أخذتما.
How would I say this to one man?
أخذتم.
Not akhadtu.
أخذت.
Akhadta. Very good. How would I say this to one girl? Talking to one girl.
أخذتي.
No, not your Amiya, man. Akhadti. How would I say this to two girls? How would I say this to three girls? Akhadtunna. Very good. How would I say this by myself? Akhadtu. How would I say we did it? Very good. So akhadtum, you guys took. What did you take? Beautiful fan. I'm going to do beautiful next, right?
No, fan.
I'm going to say fan. So how do I say fan?
How do we say fan, Sophie?
Yeah, marwaha, but in Fusha with the kasra on the mim.
Why do we do that?
This is easier.
Okay.
Ma is easier to say than mil. Yeah. That's why in Ammiya, Fatha is very common for ease. Okay? So akhadtum mirwahati.
It sounds like it should be fan.
Is it mirwahati?
I think so, no?
Ish. Ish.
Oh.
Why Fatha?
Because it got taken.
Because it's the one the action's happening to. Right? It's not doing the action. You're doing the action. It's what the action is happening to. When an action is happening to something or someone, we got to give it fathas. So if Yusuf hit Khalid, Khalid has to end in which harakah? Fatha. Yes, because the action's happening to Khalid. Khalid's not doing it. Mirwahatan. And how do I say beautiful in this case? Why are you guys saying Jamila Tan?
That one's. Oh, wait. No, that's right.
Why are you guys saying Jamila Tan? Because it's feminine. Why is this feminine? Because this is feminine. So we're copying it and it's gender. Let's do number 3. This one's a little bit longer. The sick woman drank bitter medicine. Very good. You got it. Tariq, what's up?
شربت.
We got to say sick woman though.
شربت المرأة المريضة.
Okay, good. So you're close. We need the last harakah. Just guess it.
المرأة المريضة.
What am I going to put on the ta? Nah, because the action's not happening to her. She's doing it, right?
Yeah.
She's doing it. So when she's doing it, Amir, what do I have to put at the end of the word mar'a?
Dhamma.
Very good. Al-mar'atu. And then how do I say sick, Safi? So just like al-mar'atu, al-mariyadatu has to end in dhamma as well. Al-mar'atu al-mariyadatu. Shamraiz, I'm waiting. Come on, man. You gotta finish this off.
Okay. Al-mar'atu al-maridatu sharabat.
Sharabna?
No.
Why not?
Sharabna is
But
we
I'm
drink.
what's it called? She drank.
That's we.
Yeah.
What about sharibti?
Sharibti would be that you female drink.
Yeah, and I'm not talking to her, right?
You're saying third person.
So I'm saying it in the third person. Therefore, this should be what?
Sharabat.
It's actually shari. This verb always has a kasra. Remember, like sami'a? Sami'a yasma'u, shariba yash. Very good. So it follows the pattern of sami'a. Sharibat. Yash sharibat. What she drink? Ad-dawa'u. The medicine drank this woman, guys. Listen to what he said. No, we can't say ad-dawa'u. If I said ad-dawa'u, that means dawa is the one doing the drinking. I can't do that. How do I make it so dawa is what's being drunk? Does it say bitter medicine or the bitter medicine?
Bitter. There's no D.
There's no D, so let's get rid of that.
Yeah.
So how would I say this? Okay.
Whatever bitter. Let me find bitter.
Can't say.
More is bitterness. It's bitterness.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys have in your book?
Murra.
Murrun. Sometimes they say mariran as well.
Oh, yeah.
And the word for bitterness is marara actually. Murran. There we go. That's correct. Why did I not add an alif to the end of this word?
I have no idea. Because it's Hamza.
Because it's a hamza.
Hamza on be that grammar rule.
Yeah, this rule where you add an alif to the end of a word if it ends in two fathas does not apply if the word with two fathas is either hamza or either a ta marbuta.
Nice.
If these words have fatha on them,
Even a ha marbuta would require one?
huh?
Ha marbuta would require one?
A ha marbuta, yeah, would.
Aye.
You not really have that.
What is a hammer?
He's just talking about the ha at the end of a word, but that's not gonna happen
Oh, okay.
very often.
Oh.
I'll explain why later. Dawa and murra. Let's do our next one. It's about to get a little bit harder.
Ooh. This is good.
You all have the same question? Brave thought it?
By the response.
Brave thought it. Defeated a big king's army. And he entered the capital. His capital. Ooh, it got real hard.
Ooh, nice. His
Real
capital.
Alright, this is going to be complicated for a couple of reasons.
Without a pronoun.
And we're going to end with this because this is going to have a couple of components to it. Number one, let's try doing this together. How do I say brave tariq?
You say Tariq first, and you come out the word brave.
Yes, I say tariq first. I don't say brave first. In English, I would say brave first. In Arabic, I would say tariq. How do I spell tariq, guys?
No. So you use the adjective.
Tariq with a kaf? No, it's tariq.
Is it with the qaf?
Yes, Surah Al-Tariq is in the Quran. وَالسَّمَاءِ
I'm
وَالطَّارِقِ.
thinking about my cousin and I'm saying Tariq.
What word would you use for brave? That's why in English everyone spells it with a K as well.
Yeah.
Would be I got mine with a Q.
Alhamdulillah. Alright, what do I put at the end of the word tariq? Dhammatain.
Do we for
Tariqun.
is it
Batal for brave. Is that what the word in your word list is?
Also means hero, no?
my dictionary does.
That's fine, we're sticking to the word list right now, Safi. So the word in the word list is what? Shuja'un. Am I going to say tariqun shuja'un?
Al-Shujai.
Lesh.
Because it's definite. It needs to match the definiteness of Tariq, which is
Very good. So I have to say tariqun. We're going to take a bit of an audible pause real quick and ask our tajweed expert local, Safi, how do I read this in Arabic properly? Nah.
Ash.
okay.
No.
Is it not Tariq Shujai?
Come on, you know the
That's
Quran.
right.
In the Quran, if you have dhammatain, And then you have alif lam.
Oh,
There's
sorry. Thought you could.
No. No. The way you would actually read this in proper
Right,
Arabic,
with the sukoon on the thingy.
no. You read it like that.
Oh.
When did they teach that?
Oh, because it's.
They didn't teach you that.
Oh, let's say that must be.
But you would actually technically say طارقٌ الشجاع.
Yeah.
Why?
What's the difference?
Alif
Taraqun.
Because if you say طارقٌ, okay,
Yeah.
here's the problem. Just look at that qaf. Qun like this and qun like this are the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Feels like it, yeah.
They sound the same, right?
Yeah.
Which means when you say qun, you're actually ending on a sukoon, right? Right?
Taraqun, yeah.
Now this alif, we have to skip this in Arabic. It's called Hamzat al-Wasl.
Okay.
You only say it when it's at the beginning of a sentence.
Yeah.
Like you don't say fi al-masjid. What do you say? Yeah, so we're skipping the alif, right?
Right.
We have to skip it here too. So if we skip it here, what's the problem?
Shamsi, right?
No.
Back to back sukoon.
We have sukoon on a sukoon. There's no way to read this.
You can't say that.
We can't say qul. So what do? We transform this into a kasra.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Some reason.
So you can say al-jaza al.
You would say طارقٌ
Oh, I see.
طارقٌ
Yeah.
That's what you would do.
Oh.
Okay? Technically. So طارق الشجاع, that's why I'll pronounce it like that. طارق الشجاع, what about him? This is brave Tariq. What did he do? Hazama. Hazama as in the Quran, right?
Yeah.
Where's it in the Quran?
No.
No. You're just making a
I'm
ayat based on the meanings.
Yeah.
You saying Dawood defeated Jalut, he said Hazama. MashaAllah. I like your mind. Just don't recite the Quran like that.
Yeah.
Safi, where's Hazama? وهزم الأحزاب وحده. That's a dua. That's a dua of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah, that is.
But where's Hazama?
So Hazama means
Defeated.
Defeated.
I'll let you think about the meaning, where it is in the Quran. So we have Hazama. Okay. طارق الشجاع Hazama. Hazama what? What did he defeat?
Kingdom, right?
He didn't defeat a kingdom.
A big king's army.
All right, let's think about this, guys. You're gonna need to put your heads on now. A big,
Big King's Army.
okay.
Oh, subhanAllah.
What's happening here, Shamrace?
We have a mudaf ilayh.
We have a mudaf and mudaf ilayh. What are the mudaf ilayh?
King's Army.
Army of the
So,
king. Yes.
mudaf,
This is our.
that is
Mudaf.
the mudaf
But what
ilayh.
is this?
Oh,
Mudaf
sorry,
ilayh.
that's mudaf ilayh. Right.
This is a mudaf ilayh. Okay, what is big?
Sifah.
The sifa. So what's gonna come first?
The army of the king big.
Very good.
First.
Amir, you memorize it real well. So what would I bring first? You said
Army.
army. So how do I say army?
I want to say that my way or
No, from the kitab.
Yes, sir. This is my way. Jundun?
Jund is there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was writing. Al Junda. Would I say that?
Jundun. And then you take off the L
Why do I take off the al?
because it's mudaf.
Very good. So I would have to get rid of the al based off our rules. Jund. What would I put at the end of Jund?
I think Dhamma, unless we need to change the state later. So I don't know yet.
You don't know yet.
But
Who
that's
said
defeated,
fatha?
it's defeated, so it could be a fatha.
It's gotta be a fatha.
Yeah.
Very good observation. Junda. All right. What did he defeat? The army of.
The king.
So what am I gonna say next?
Al-Malik.
Yeah, Malik.
Al Malik.
Malik.
No, Malik is owner.
Malik.
Al Malika.
Malik.
Al-Maliki.
Maliki. Why?
Yeah.
Because it has to be the just state.
Very good. You probably lost this. Okay. Al Maliki. Al Maliki. Jund al Maliki. He defeated the king's army, but we never said the big.
Now you put Kabir at the end now.
Okay.
And Kabir has to match whatever the mudaf ilay in that composition.
What are we describing right now? What's big?
Mawsoof would be the king.
Army.
The king. I'm describing the king. I'm not describing the army. Look,
Why is that?
brave Tariq defeated a Big king's army, not a king's big army.
Yes, you are correct. Yes, you
I see. Okay.
Okay, so we're describing big. We're using big to describe the king, not to describe what?
His army.
So this word has to match which word?
Maliki.
Which means this word must have what?
That's the
And
and the same gender which it was. Yeah.
How about if this said al-kabira?
No, that would describe the army.
So that would say Tariq defeated the king's big army, but we're not saying that. If we said al-kabira, we'd be describing the big army. We're not trying to say big army, we're trying to say the big king. So that's why we have to say al-kabir. You see how the haraka is manipulating the sentence, like we did practice on this last class, if you all recall.
وذهب. No,
Sorry?
the next part.
Okay, and he entered his capital. ذهب means he went.
Enter would be دخل.
وَدَخَلَ. Very good. وَدَخَلَ. What did he enter?
The capital of that king.
The capital of that king. But it says in English what?
His capital.
You guys remember how to say his?
Oh.
Nahua. Nahuma.
One second. His, right?
Home is 3.
Who? Just who?
That's who. So how do I say capital? Anyone know?
Asimaton.
Asim. Okay. Now, but I'm saying his capital. So how would I say it? Asimat. Tuhu, Tahu, or Tihi? Why Tuhu?
Actually, no. Tahu.
Tahu, why? It's what the
the
action is happening to. وَدَخَلَ عَاصِمَتَهُ.
Will we get past that? This guy probably have to go so slow to say.
No, it's very good. Listen, when you don't understand something, the best thing to do is to do it slowly. You do it fast, you're going to build bad habits. It's like a guy in the gym just throwing up deadlifts fast because he doesn't know how to do them. That's a very dumb thing to do. Then you're going to start thinking wrong. You're going to start understanding sentences based on guesses, not based off of like going through a procedure.
Yeah.
If you do the procedure slowly like you're doing it, eventually it'll become a part of your mind map. So go slowly. Don't try to like rush yourself. Mahzoom min al-ahzab.
I was thinking Hazama.
Yeah, that is from hazama. Mahzoom means defeated. Okay, very good. Any questions about today's session? Yeah. I need you guys to do me a favor. Before tomorrow.
When they turn around.
Let's do number 7. Number 8. Just take note of this, please.
That's possible.
Number 9.
Let's keep
7, 8, and 9 on exercise 2.
And number 10.
Oh, no.
7 to 10.
I knew he was going to keep going slowly. Yeah.
Oh, we got 9.
Dr. Mahmoud examined a sick woman and wrote a good prescription for her.
Yeah, Dr. Mahmoud examined. You got that?
You can find that problem from them, okay? Inshallah.
We have to be, yeah.
All right, inshallah. Subhanallah, bihamdih, subhanallah,
Oh,
astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh.
Yeah, so us is 60.